Let's get good. I am the gamer under development, and we are back with more Humankind OpenDev. We have two, not one, but two new scenarios to go through today. We have Beneath Our Hooves, which is a battle simulation, and then we have King of the Hill, which is another battle simulation. I am excited about this. I hope you guys are too. I'm going to go ahead and choose Beneath Our Hooves right now. We'll go ahead and start the scenario, and here we go. Now, I'm not going to say that I haven't gone through this one a time or two already. I haven't gone through the King of the Hill at all, though, so that'll be an interesting one for us. So this is mainly just for us to help them test out the combat system. Now, they are in chariots, we are in chariots. The difference here is if we click on their units and we check out their composition, they're using the Markabata, a lightweight chariot that helps Egyptian commoners or commanders observe the battlefield, dispatch orders, and fire arrows at the enemy. So the big difference here between their units and our units is that they have 3 attack range and can move and fire, whereas we have only 1 attack range. Now, on the flip side of that, we also have suppression, which is the targeted unit can either move or attack next turn, but not both. So we're going to be trying to take advantage of both of those systems. Our unit is particularly, it's a gigir. War chariots provide an invaluable advantage to the Hittites, but the disciplined organization of the army only let the nobles fight on them. So anyways, we can use those to kind of keep them from moving and attacking at the same time. That being said, given that their range, moving and attacking is not their biggest issue here. So I've done this a couple times, and the way that I found was most efficient was like this. So we're going to do it this way. Can we do it the way that I found? So not like that. There we go. Just like this. So we're going onto a river tile, and we're attacking from the river tile. The important thing is where this slices up the battlefield. So they get to place on this side of the battlefield, and if you think about it from a logical perspective, the best place for them to position is up here on the hills because they have arrows, and that makes sense. Now, for us, we're not going to want to run up on those hills and attack them, and this is the capture point that we would want to capture in order to win the battle, so to speak. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and confirm the battle. It's going to let us do our troop placements here, and the target tile is not in your deployment zone, so we can't actually look at what that tile does. I don't think we can do that here. Oh, no, we can. Okay. So forests slow unit movement and restrict vision, but provide a defensive bonus against missile fire, which is their arrows. So very, very useful to have those. And then rivers down here. Units standing on this tile receive no particular bonuses or penalties, heavily restricts unit movement, and applies a heavy combat strength penalty. So my first inclination was that we should position right here on these river tiles. It's actually not a great idea. And the reason why is because what we want to do is we want to find our way into forests as well as capture that capture point as quickly as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move these guys, and I'm using the wrong buttons again, there we go. I'm going to move them down here as much as I can away from those river tiles. Now we do have one unit that is going to be forced to start on a river tile, so we'll just go ahead and use this one. Now they're not going to start right there. They get to position their units as well, so we're going to end our deployment here. We can see 2 of their units on the hillside, but 2 of them are actually out of our vision range. We can see the capture point down here, though, and we can see that we could actually reach that on this unit if we tried. So what we're going to do is we want our unit that is closest to them to come down here. And wham, wouldn't you know, they actually put a unit on the capture point. That makes a lot of sense. We're going to run in, we're going to hit that guy. Now, he's getting a defensive bonus against ranged fire, missile fire, but we don't have missile fire, so we just chunked him out for a large portion of his health. Now we're going to go in and hit him with this guy, and that should out and out kill him. The only downside is it's going to leave this guy exposed here on the river, and there's not a whole lot that we can do about that, because we needed to kill that guy to open up these other hexes here. But now that we have access to those other hexes, we can go ahead and move this unit right here. Gonna put it in the trees, which will provide cover from that missile fire. We're gonna take this unit and move it over here to capture the capture point, as well as putting it in the trees where it can cover from that missile fire. So we do have this one unit that may die here. This is the unit that I've lost the most when I've tried this out a couple times, and that's just because we can't really give them good cover. Yeah, he's dead. He's dead. There's probably a way to get through without losing any units. I don't know what that way would be. Because the reality is there's only one way to attack this hex in the first turn. I suppose you could move everybody down here and then wait for the second turn, because they can't really cross the rivers. It takes too much movement. But I don't think... Oh, he survived. Okay. we may actually make it out with all 4 units after all. So if we do this, we're actually attacking from the trees, which gives him some protection. But beyond giving him protection, it's going to do pretty sizable damage to them. We can see that our combat strength is saying at 28. Their combat strength is 25, plus 4 from high ground, but minus 5 from being vulnerable to close combat units. We also know that if we hit them, they're going to be suppressed, and they're not going to be able to fire and move at the same time. So if they decide to stay here and fire, they won't be able to move away, and we can kill them. So we're going to get in and get our damage right there, and then we're going to take our most damaged unit here and send him as far back as we can into the forests. Now our other units are slightly damaged, and that's okay. I guess I'm actually not going to be able to move him along here because I forget, but essentially you need to be in a river tile. If I had it to do over again, I guess I wouldn't move this guy here. But once you're in a river tile, you no longer suffer the movement penalty through the river tile. So now we basically are stuck in a position where we may have to expose another unit if we want to be able to get through and attack that guy. I don't think that's actually worth it. It probably would have been better to just move this unit right here, and then we could have moved him here and this unit there. Mistakes may have been made, but that's okay. What we're going to do instead is the best that we can do, which at this point involves us potentially pulling this unit back for a moment. They've only got 3 range, so 1, 2, 3. Even if they came to the river, they can't hit him if we move him back here. However, he is our highest health unit, so it doesn't make sense to do that. Instead, what I think we'll do is we'll move this unit back, and we'll just stay where we're at. And see what they do. Okay, so they're going to back up with that unit, take some shots into the forest. We're going to see that there is a drastically reduced damage to this unit because it's in the forest. We only take 10 instead of 50. They're going to fire again. Doesn't matter that much. We're going to kill this unit next turn. Once we kill this unit, we can actually charge into the forest after them, which is very important here, because that's going to open it up for us to be able to really take the fight to them. Because then we'll not only have forests, but we'll have high ground forests, which is very, very useful. Did that not kill him? He actually survived. Okay. So that is a little more problematic than I realized. We may sacrifice this unit just to open up that path. But if we do, then, you know, obviously we're going to lose this unit. The main mistake I made was to move this unit where I did last turn. If instead we come over here, and I'm going to bring this unit over here. So now they may fire at this to finish it off. If they do that, that's kind of okay. It's not really that big of a loss. We kind of expected that to happen. Instead, they're going to keep firing at this guy so they can maintain their range. That's actually not a good move on their part, because it's going to open them up for us to finish this and then begin running in on them with our other units. This guy is still in a sort of problematic position, but as long as we're able to move through him, it won't be too much of a trouble. See, now we're going to take this unit down. Now he's still here where he's protected by the forest, and we have this full health unit that can now dash through and kind of go after those guys. Now, it doesn't look like we can quite reach them here, but we can get right here, which is going to give us the high ground bonus, the forest bonus, at least against this particular unit. And then if we have the movement, which it looks like we do not, we could also fire on them. So unfortunately, that's not going to happen. We're going to go ahead and move this unit over here. And now we could move this unit out. See, if we'd placed this unit here on turn 2, we could have rotated units sooner and got up there to get more damage in. They're going to go ahead and retreat to that hillside where they'll fire because they know that they don't really want to be caught in open ground like that. And now these guys are going to go down to open ground, but the reason they're doing that is to try to pull us out of the forest while we strike out at them. Now, that's not something we're willing to do. In fact, I would say that it's actually more worthwhile for us to kind of move up here and get more vision. No, not what I'd hoped for. Not what I had hoped for by a long shot, but that's okay. We can do this. This will put us in that forest, getting our damage in. We still have not lost a single unit yet, by the way. Combat is about to finish. We're about to win. No units lost. That, to me, is a victory. I would, however, have preferred to kill more of their units. I think that's the only thing that would have made this slightly better. I mean, we can go here and kill this, but if we do, we're likely trading one unit for another unit. And I don't feel like that's necessarily positive. Especially not since they have that one unit very, very wounded. It's actually really unfortunate that moving one hex with this into that forest took all of our movement here. But it is what it is. Let's go ahead and end the round. We should win the combat. We did come out a lot stronger than they did. We're almost double their strength now. I would consider that to be a great victory. Very nice. Very nice. Could have been better. We could have killed one more unit at least, had I made a slightly different decision. However, that is a good victory right there. That's a victory that we can be proud of. Let's go ahead and end our turn. There we go. How will you affect humankind? It says something else, but oh, it's so cool, guys. The way the terrain factors in and you're able to loop around stuff like that, it's just nuts. It's just nuts. It's really, really cool.
Hi, it's me again, back to say
hey, it's the literal Jeff.
And most obviously, thank you for playing. We really hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
And keep in mind that this is just a glimpse of what the full game will have to offer. The scenario you just played was specifically designed for OpenDev. Now, if you have time, we would really appreciate hearing your feedback. The game designers have put together a list of questions that would help us.
I'm pretty sure that this is the same exact, like,
strategy game.
Outslide.
If you're interested in hearing more about this, come join the community on Games Together.
Do that.
Thanks again for playing, and thank you for leaving your mark on humankind.
Absolutely. So I thought that was really great. I don't know how you guys watching feel. You can let me know in the comments. So that was our stats right there. 2 turns, 2 enemies killed. We dealt 279. We took 237. We did not, however, lose a single unit, which was actually my goal, so I'm happy about that. And let's give feedback real quick. Alright, thank you for playing OpenDev Scenario 2. We hope you enjoyed it. Because your opinion truly matters, we would appreciate if you took the time to tell us about your experience with the OpenDev. The survey should not take more than 10 minutes and will greatly help our team to bring Humankind to the next level. Let's go. How many times did you play this? I think this is my 4th time. How would you rate your overall experience with this OpenDev scenario? I'm actually pretty satisfied here. I'm not very satisfied because I did have to kind of find the terrain bonuses. Like, if I hadn't moused over the terrain, it took me 2 or 3 battles before I realized, hey, those terrain things, they actually have bonuses applied to them. It would have been nice to have some sort of indicator of that, even if it was just a tutorial that said, hey, check the terrain bonuses. That would help a lot. But I was satisfied. I thought it was pretty good. How likely would you recommend Humankind OpenDev? I would highly recommend it. I think this is going to be the future of 4X gaming in a lot of ways. How likely would you recommend the Humankind game to a friend based on your experience? I would highly recommend it, because no matter how this turns out, it's going to be one that you should have in your collection just to understand how 4X games evolve this way. Because that's what this will do. One way or another, this is going to evolve the direction that 4X games take. Overall, how difficult or easy was it to win the battle? It was somewhat easy to win the battle. I won every single time I played it because I just took the capture point most times. But it was not specifically, I'll say it wasn't difficult or easy. It was pretty middle ground. Without understanding the terrain, the losses were pretty bad. What did you think of this level of difficulty? I thought that it was pretty good. No, it wasn't too difficult. It also wasn't too easy. I felt like that was pretty well tuned, honestly. Overall, how interesting was the battle? I thought that was actually pretty interesting. I'm going to go with very interesting here, because the way the terrain played in was actually a really, really big part of it. Which of the following elements explains why you found the battle interesting? The terrain, the AI was on point. They made good decisions. They didn't make really bad decisions. The animations weren't anything extremely special to me. The units were interesting. The strategic depth was interesting. The historical angle was interesting, but I actually don't know anything about that particular battle, so it's kind of neither here nor there. How well did you understand unit movements in battle? Somewhat. I still don't understand how much movement I have, and I may have just missed that in the UI. Maybe I'll see it in the next one. We'll look for it. How well did you understand how damage was calculated? That was pretty clear. That was pretty clear once you kind of went for the attack. Did you use the high ground to your advantage? Yes. Did you use the rivers to your advantage? Yes. Did you take advantage of flanking? Yeah, I did on some of them. I tried it, and it wasn't as useful as drawing them into the forests. Was there a memorable moment of the battle you would like to share with us? Okay, so let me think about this for a minute, because like all of it was pretty memorable to me. I think the most interesting thing was like, I think let's see. The most interesting thing was charging in to level the ranged chariot one round, only to be two-shotted the next round due to the high ground advantage and lack of cover. The lack of cover was like, this happened the first time I went through and I was like, wow, what is going on? This is pretty swingy, like what's up? And once I understood what it was really good. Did you take advantage of the Hittite Chariot special ability? Yes, we did. Which of the following special rules had an impact on your battle? Egyptian chariots are stronger against cavalry. Ranged units are weak against melee attacks. Egyptian chariots can move after attacking. Ranged units work better if they have a clear line of sight. I think that this one was the most useful to us. Which of the following special rules had an impact? So that was problematic. Mainly, actually, they weren't stronger against cavalry, though, were they? I don't think they were. Egyptian chariots can move after attacking. I don't know if they actually... I didn't notice whether they did or not. But this was pretty prominent for me, so that's the one I'm going to go after. What was your favorite part in this scenario? Figuring out how to utilize the forests with the rivers. That was pretty sweet. What was your least favorite part in this scenario? Not realizing exactly how the terrain factored in. Perhaps having that specifically highlighted by the tutorial would help. The trees also didn't really look like trees to me, but that's neither here nor there. Is there anything else you want to share with us regarding what you experienced in this scenario? The experience of learning through this was enjoyable, because that's true. A lot of these types of games, a lot of 4X games, it's really about how it feels to learn your way through it. We would like to thank you for thank participants of OpenDev by including your nickname in our thank you video. Please that's fine. Love you guys. All right, please stay tuned for the next scenario. Let's go. The next one is King of the Hill. Very excited for this. You guys see what that is? That's a shield wall. Let's go, baby. You can reset the tutorials for this. I just want to make sure that if there is a tutorial for stuff, we don't miss it. Alright, sorry about that, folks. There was a person mowing their lawn in the background, so had to shut the door. King of the Hill, Battle of Plataea. We Persians must dislodge the hoplites from their defensive position. They may have the high ground and better weapons, but we have the numbers and the resolve. We will break their formation. Greece will fall. Use of reinforcements will be key, both utilizing your own and hampering the enemy's. Note that once your immortals hold the high ground, they will be deadly. Understood. Okay. That's pretty exciting.
I swear to God, I muted it before you started.
That's pretty exciting. Don't mind the Murloc in the background. That's just my fiance.
I muted it.
It's okay, baby. Thanks for helping. So we are the Persians. We have our immortals here, I'm assuming? Yes. Both Imperial Guard and Elite Heavy Infantry, the well-equipped immortals, are the backbone of the Persian army. So their ability is they're melee, so they get additional damage versus ranged units. Oh no, they're useful for protecting ranged units from cavalry. Okay, my bad. I should actually read things. Bastion, stronger when fighting from high ground and fortified positions. So if we can get up on these higher grounds, we can take advantage of that. In the meantime, though, let's look at the hoplites here. So their movement... Oh, there's the movement. I'm just a spaz. There's the movement. So we have 4 movement per turn. 1 range, 28 strength. They have 28 strength, 4 movement, 1 range, but they have the phalanx bonus, which grants additional strength for each unit with the phalanx ability adjacent to this unit. So our goal is to separate them and take the high ground. And their goal is to stay grouped up, and they also have archers backing them up. We do not seem to have any ranged units backing us up, but we do have horsemen here that are ready to come in. Horsemen are cavalry, close combat units that ignores enemy zone of control, particularly good for running down ranged units. So they will be excellent and integral in us being able to take out the archers. So where do we want to attack from? Because where we attack from establishes the battlefield, right? And that's super important here. Because if we come down here and attack, then we're actually in a further downhill area when we start, which isn't very advantageous to us. We also need to manage our reinforcements. I'm not entirely sure how reinforcements actually work. Doesn't necessarily say much about that either, which is... Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Come on, game. Why you do me like that? So, if we attack here, then we will have reinforcements from them. If we don't attack here, then we have to retreat. Alright, let's do this. So if we look here, we can see our reinforcements. And I think in order for... yeah, there we go. For them to reinforce, they have to be close enough. So what would have happened here, ideally, is instead of us coming in with these guys, I'm going to close this, and then confirming battle, we would have moved these guys here and then come in with this army. But that's okay. We have our horsemen here that are probably going to get wrecked by the archers. Ugh, that's rough. Actually, if we can do a good job of sort of flanking around and getting their archers, this is kind of okay, maybe. Let's see how this goes. We're going to try this 1 or 2 times, so this is just our first go. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna go here. Okay, so we're able to take high ground here, but as we can see, the archers are down there. We do have vision now of where they're at, and that will help us out in the long run. Because now we can just go straight down and take out these archers. Wow, that's actually gonna work majorly in our favor right here. And there's the control point, so once we kill the archers, we'll probably go straight after the control point. We just take out, like, yeah, that was almost their entire archer unit. Can I move these guys now? I can. But we cannot take the high ground from them. Like, we'll be coming in from low ground, and I don't like that. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the high ground with this unit right here. And then we'll continue to use our horsemen to flank around as best we can. If we can do that, which it looks like we can... It is going to expose this horseman. We might actually... There we go. That's much better. That's much better. That's going to cause our horsemen to take the low ground here, but these aren't archers. So if they want to chase our horsemen, they have to come down, and if they come down, then we can take the high ground with our phalanx here. Or our immortals, rather. So that feels pretty good. Okay, so we can just keep moving out of our reinforcements here. I really wish I hadn't positioned this unit on the high ground now, because that is somewhat problematic. You have reserve, which means that units are still undeployed. A reserve is automatically created if all the tiles on your side of the battlefield are already taken, or if an army joins the battle after the confirmation phase. Interesting. Oh yeah, we still have these guys back here as well. I think what we'll do with them... Well, they have to cross the river, so we'll move them to cross the river. And then we'll go ahead and bring our immortals over here. So at the best, they can be on even ground with us when we fight, but they can't have the high ground there. And then this guy will come up here just so that he's also on the highest ground we can get for him. And now it's going to be their turn. So they're going to come down to meet our horsemen here. This is what we expected. But unfortunately for them, in doing so, they're going to put themselves in a disadvantageous position for our immortals to come in. And that's exactly what we want. We want to draw them in. They may kill our horsemen here, but we're going to draw them in and get our counterattacks. Oh, wait a minute. They have one more archer. I have been gotten. I have been gotten by their one more archer. Darn. I didn't realize they had another archer up here. That is problematic. And once again, we haven't taken the capture point either, which is kind of the goal. So the question here is how we can get around to the other side. Does look like we could go over this way, but I think that's outside of the battlefield. So what I want to do here is potentially use this horseman to draw the archers away, and then use the high ground here to get in with our immortals. There we go. Make them hurt. Took about half their line right there. And now we're going to take this horseman and retreat it because we know that we can. And we have another horseman here that can also kind of come up this way. And I'm putting him right here so that we can maybe draw them down into this crevice where we can hit them with the immortals again. Once again, the goal is for us to maintain as much high ground and cover as we can, especially dealing with this archer. So now we're in a pretty solid place with all of our units. Trying to think of if there's anywhere else I want to move or can move that's even more advantageous. Doesn't seem like there is. I'm going to go ahead and end the turn here. Now, we do need to keep in mind that that's our capture goal, and we're nowhere near it. So we've got to con them into coming in for combat, and then we've got to sweep back down there. Now, that's what we wanted. I wanted them to move closer to the horsemen, though. But if you look at that, they had to give up the high ground there to get safe. And we do have another horseman that can potentially sweep in from behind. And now they have put all of their phalanx units right next to each other in this pit. Oh, this is going pretty good. We are losing some horseman units here. That's not a great thing. But on the flip side of that, we do have high ground advantage on some of their units. I guess we should have tried to box them in a little bit more. That probably would have been more beneficial. Oh, that's just nice. Look at that. Look at the way they animate. That's super cool. You see the guy lift his shield and look through like, hey, are you guys still there? What's up? So here I think we can just crush these guys. Ooh. You guys see that, right? That's nasty. We just took out all of their archers. That is nasty as can be. Can we also do significant damage here? We can probably kill off these guys. I'm actually tempted to kill these guys off and then move this unit right here. And even though that does create like a flanking position for them... Oh, how did that not kill him? I call shenanigans on that one. Well, we can finish it off with the horse unit here. Quite nice. Oh, no, we can't. He just got wrecked. Okay, so, new plan. Run, horsey, run. That's the new plan. Let's get the horses as far away as we possibly can. Come in and strike with these guys. I probably could have moved them down there like I was thinking, but I'm honestly not super... well, they're going to flank us now. Yeah. Alright, first try. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were most definitely made here. Oof, their side is much stronger now. Not realizing they had that second batch of archers up there was kind of my fault, because they did show us all of the units ahead of time. This was really the only high ground we had available to us, though, so I don't feel bad about how we took advantage of our high ground here. But yeah, we definitely made some mistakes with the, or rather I did with the chariots. I'm not going to lump you guys in with my failure, don't worry. What do we do here? I think we kill those guys. And then maybe we come in and hit these guys. Take advantage of our high ground bonus here. And then we come up here. And we still have this horseman unit that can kind of start coming back around. My goal with this horseman would be to use it to come capture the capture point, but we may run out of time to get there. We are the stronger side at the moment, but the capture point is, from my understanding, the objective of the fight. So if we don't kill all their units or get that, we fail. But they're really not able to do a whole lot here because of how we've positioned. They're going to move back to protect the capture point. Yeah, they understand what we're doing. Good on the AI for seeing what we were doing. Okay, so let's go here for a kill. Here for a kill. Oh, that won't kill them, but it will weaken them a lot. And we had the high ground, so we shouldn't take very much damage there at all. This won't kill them, but it could. Why can we not do this? We didn't move with these guys yet. There we go. Okay. I got a little too fast for the game to keep up. Alright, so now we have control of the high ground. We've killed all but 2 of their units. This may be the last turn, though. Yeah, it is. So I don't think we're going to win this one. I think we definitely came out with more strength, but in order to win, we need to capture their flag, and that did not happen. It's interesting, because we almost needed to play the same phalanx wall style that they played to safeguard ourselves in this fight. Wait, really? The battle will continue next turn? The 5 battle rounds are finished, but the fight is not over. Oh, we get another chance. Okay. We may still win this after all, guys. We may still win this after all. Here we're even, and they're probably going to win. And we're going to die. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to pull this unit back right here. And maybe, just maybe, we get a bonus for flanking here. No. They're going to get high ground bonus. It's going to all be in their favor. We're going to lose our horsemen. None of that is worth it. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have our horsemen cross this river wherever they can. The problem is we don't want to cross the river too close to the enemy because they can move down and kill the horsemen, and the horsemen is our fastest unit for getting over here and capturing that. Okay, so they're going to go around. That puts them on even ground with us. But hopefully these guys are going to... Yeah, that's what I was hoping they would do. They are flanking now, but at the same time, flanking or not, we're going to kill them here. We have an even fight here, and we should be able to come claim the flag right now. Safely, mind you, because there's no more units left to fight us. Okay, so it wasn't the best outcome, by far. Was not the best, but it also wasn't the worst. We wiped them out, we took the location we were after, and hey, we're Persia, so the fact that we have so many units is why we can throw them away. We did succeed there, though. How far will you push Humankind? That was pretty nifty. I think we could have done that with less losses if I'd played a little bit more smart. Still, the layers of depth there, guys. The layers of depth there were incredible. Just blown away by that.
Hi, it's me again. Back to say just a few words. First,
yes, yes, we knew we were going to see you, Jeff.
We really hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
Again, keep in mind that this is just a glimpse of what the full game will have to offer. The scenario
I'm going to memorize this next time so that I can alternate lines with him.
Now, if you have time, we would really appreciate hearing your feedback. The game designers have put together a list of questions that would help us make Humankind the very best historical strategy game. If you're interested
and want to hear more about this, come join the community games together. See, I'm almost there, guys.
Thank you for leaving your mark on Humankind.
Right on. Yeah. So we dealt 800, took 706. Probably could have gone a lot better. I'm going to go ahead and do the feedback. Oh, what? It didn't let us do the feedback. I guess we'll do one more of these. Since it didn't let us do the feedback, we're going to try one more time. We'll see if we can get less losses, and then we'll go straight into doing the feedback. I'm also going to engage differently this time. I want to ensure that they're in range to back everything up. But actually, now that I think about it, I wonder if I have the movement to get over here and attack them from this side. I could, but I feel like that would be a mistake. If we attack here, then our horsemen are well within range. Still don't like them starting at that spot, though. I think it'd be better for them to start over here. So I'm going to move the horsemen over to this side, and we're just going to go all in on the push from this direction. Yes, I'd like to confirm that battle. Whoa. That was spazzing out for just a moment. We don't get to have any high ground from the positioning we chose, which is unfortunate, but I also don't think they'll meet us like shield to shield right here. They might. They actually might, and if they do, that could definitely spell out a problem for us. But I don't suspect that they'll do that. I think that that's a little bit more on the nose than what they're going to want to do. Also doesn't take great advantage of their high ground and anything like that. So I do want to still send out one cavalry just as a scout. Oh, look at where they positioned this time, guys. They moved to a whole nother point. Okay, so we have a scout. He landed in the worst possible spot for him to land for us. We have another way up here? We don't. So actually, by going on this side, we made it a lot worse on ourselves. Because the control point is on their side, they can just wait us out. I guess what we'll do is we'll have to start pushing over to this other side and seeing if maybe we can come up over here. And yeah, we still have to break through one unit to get through there. There's not really any way around that. They have the archer, so they can kind of sit back and rest on their laurels with the archer. Yeah, that was not the best angle of approach. Allowing them to potentially set up on that other hillside was kind of a mistake on my part. And it doesn't look like we can actually move up to that second layer here, height-wise. So we would have to go right here, which would open us up to phalanx, would open us up to other things. We actually have a unit that can move here. We do. So that is an option. We can use one of our mounted units as bait. And if we can get them to rush in here, we can basically beat on them with our immortals. That seems like an okay option. It's really the only option we have, so okay or not, that's what we're doing. I'm going to kind of spread our horse units around so that maybe we can get some flanking in where it makes sense. That seems alright. Okay, we are actually done with our turn here. I don't know why it's telling me I can continue to move stuff, can I? Thought I moved everyone. Is there somebody left out here that I didn't move yet? Huh. No. Oh, these guys can still move. Not into any kind of actually good position, but they can still move. Maybe we put them here? No, we don't put them there. We want people to move right here and get caught. Let's see if we can get some advantage from our height. See, that's what I was hoping would happen. I was hoping we could bait them in to take those horsemen out. And they had to do it, right? Like, that's not a bad choice by the AI. They had to do it because if they didn't, their archers were under threat. Now they're still under threat. But they're going to shoot at our cavalry here, who has no protection. Very little damage, though, from their archers. Very, very little damage. Can they hit us from there? It doesn't look like they can. Alright. So they may have... Oh! Are you for real? Those are the bravest archers in the history. Look at the way they guard with their shields. That's sick. Those are the bravest archers in the history of history. They were just like, guys, we're gonna backline them. We got this. Didn't work out for them. You'll see that right now. Probably not the wisest decision there. It was a cool tactical choice by the AI's part, though. Like, I don't know if I would knock the AI for making that decision, because it's such a weird tactical decision. Like, nobody would expect it. They could have swept out from behind and just done some serious, serious damage there. Let's go ahead and bring this unit down right here. Not going to be able to do anything except for hit the river with these guys. But if we do hit the river, it's going to force them to respond, which is what we want. So we'll bring these guys here and try to force them into a response. And then we'll bring these guys over here so that they can help if they do respond. The bigger question is, how much damage can we get out of this? Not enough to kill them. If we could push through and kill these guys right here, like this, we may be able to break through and get their archers. I think that's actually worth the sacrifice we're potentially making here. Come on, guys. You can do it. Take them out. Take them out. Open the route. Oh, are you kidding me right now? You know what? Let's do it. We'll make some more sacrifices, but we're going to open that route, and if we can open the route, we still can't kill their archers because we have to be on the river first. That's okay, though. So what we'll do here is we'll move right there to make sure this unit's on the river, and then next turn it should have the movement to get up there and hit them. So their archers now have to move, or they're under threat. Okay, I'm pretty happy with those troop arrangements. Let's go ahead and end the round and see what happens. Alright, they seem to have engaged. They did significant damage, but then they kind of backed up. They've got another group of archers here that's backing up, but they're shooting at the immortals, not at the horsemen, which is probably not the wisest decision. They did have the high ground advantage there, so they slaughtered that group of immortals. We're still able to take the high ground advantage here, but they just blocked our access point up. Now they're going to come in and hit them, but that is going to leave them open to counterattack. And we're still not in the best position here. Can we still win it, though? That is the real question. That's just bad for us. Also pretty bad for us. They blocked our only path up. So they're very efficiently using the mountains here, and there's just no way we can push through them. All we can do is kind of whittle them down. And like, if we actually go in to finish these guys off, then we leave another unit exposed, ready to die. They have no impetus to attack. They have no reason to push themselves out here. Because the only reason they would have is to protect their archers and the capture point, and both are protected very well right now. That's not helpful. This could be, though. What would happen if we did this? We would almost kill them, but not quite. If we move here, we potentially... they're not gonna... That's not gonna draw the unit out like I want. My hope would be if we moved here, we could draw this unit out, forcing it to stop here, and then kill it, and then open a path to the control point. I don't think that's going to happen, though. Yeah, I think that's just not worthwhile. So I'm going to go ahead and wait, because there we go. Cause them to move, cause them to do something. They can't really effectively do anything with their archers stuck back there. Oh, and there we go. They're going to finish off our horsemen there. They won't be forced to take that hex, which is an interesting thing, because it means that we can't take advantage of that movement of troops, which is fine. Not complaining about that. I understand why it works that way. I think that's kind of cool. And we are... Yeah. I think we lost this one. Pretty sure we lost this one. The last one went much, much better. Because they just constantly have the high ground. They constantly have their adjacency bonus. There's no way for us to break them up because they're all bundled up on top of the control point. There's no other way for us to mount this area because that hex right there is just outside of our combat area. Yeah. Nothing for us to do except for try to maybe retreat our units and maintain some safety here. Let's do that. Let's retreat for the moment. Because we do get a second fight here next turn. And if I can convince them to do something foolish, like to follow us out to try to get some damage in, maybe we can capitalize on that. But if I was them, I wouldn't do it. If I was them, I would just defend, which looks like what they want to do here. Yeah, they're just going to move that phalanx unit back. Going to keep taking pot shots with their archers. Best thing we can do is to move our units out of the range of the archers, and then try to convince them to come after us. They won't. They shouldn't. That's a good test for the AI. If the AI loses this unwinnable thing for us, that's a pretty good showing for the AI having problems. Doesn't look like it's going to, though. The AI is being pretty smart. Oh, that doesn't move the capture point. There's really no way for us to get in here. And if we try to go into them, we're just gonna die for no reason. Pull them back. Did you really just do that? Okay, that was a bad decision by the AI. Like, that was a very bad decision by the AI. We're gonna come in, kill them all off. We can't move our guys out, though, which puts them in danger, so let's go ahead and move some of our immortals here to cover them. They have no archers left. We do have a horseman left. Send that horseman over here. And send our other immortal over here. So now it's melee versus melee, but they have the high ground and the unit advantage, and frankly, the ability advantage. Now, this is interesting. The smart thing for them to do here is just to block this path. If they don't block the path, then we have the ability to gain some high ground on them, and that could actually cause them problems. Okay. That gives us a chance to get in here and get some business done. I'm going to take these guys down to the riverbed. Move these guys over here. It's dangerous for us to take this mounted unit over here because they can just come here and decimate it like they have in the past. It's actually better for us to bring it back over on this side and try to break through this side. With this unit, I'm just going to go right here so they still have some oversight on that valley right there. I should have actually just moved these guys to the highest ground possible right here. By not doing that, I've created a situation where they can regain the advantage. And that's exactly what they're going to do. However, we can still get to even ground with our units here that are on the river now. But we don't need even ground when we can just kill something off. Can't kill it off there, though. Too strong. Can't get up there because of the forests. Yeah, we lose this time, guys. We lose this time. Starting the fight from this side was actually a mistake. But that's really intriguing in and of itself, right? It means you really, really need to reconsider where you're going to start your battles from. Consider your terrain, consider where you're going to be pushing them into versus where you can push them out of. And rivers factor in extremely strong. Like, the rivers are the biggest problem with this particular thing. It's rivers and mountains. Like, they have all the natural defenses. And yeah, they're just going to slaughter us here. That's pretty cool. We won last time, we lose this time. I'm okay with that. The AI performed admirably. The worst thing that they did was sending their archers down here, and it wasn't that bad because they knew they still had the position anyway. Yeah, now they're just going to slaughter that mounted unit. Very, very good on the AI's part. Now, admittedly, I made some mistakes. Maybe if you're a pro player, like, the AI is doing bad things, but I don't think they're doing bad things. I think they did quite fine right there. We're going to skip past this. 3 turns, 3 enemies killed, 431 damage dealt, 6 units lost. Mistakes were made. Here we go. This is what I wanted. Okay, how many times did you play this OpenDev scenario? 2 times. How would you rate your overall experience with this OpenDev scenario? I'm very satisfied. How likely would you recommend the OpenDev to a friend? I would highly recommend it. Like I said, this is kind of the future. How likely would you recommend the Humankind game to a friend based on your experience with Humankind OpenDev? I would highly recommend it. That was awesome. It wasn't difficult, but it wasn't easy. Like, it was what it was, and that's honestly great. I don't think that the power of a 4X game comes from it being obfuscated and difficult to understand. I think the power of a 4X game comes from things working in a logical way and the logical situation creating difficulty, which is what happened here. What did you think of this level of difficulty? I thought it was perfect. Overall, how interesting was the battle? It was very, very interesting from their side. We didn't have any way to open it up, which is why I'm going to say somewhat interesting instead of very interesting. If there would have been one other path for us to get up that mountain, it would have been a lot more interesting, but for some reason that one hex right there that would have let us do that was not part of the battlefield, and I don't know why. Which of the following elements explain why you found the battle interesting? The strategic depth, the terrain, The animations were actually super cool on this one. The historical angle was fun because this was like 300, right? The AI was really good, and the units were interesting. How well did you understand movement in battle? Very much. I understood what I was doing this time. The numbers were there, I just didn't notice them. Was the high ground an advantage for your enemy? Very much. Were the cliffs an obstacle to attack your enemy? Very much. Was there a memorable moment of the battle you would like to share with us? Yeah. When the enemy's crazy archers came out from our back line, they weren't extremely effective, but it was surprising and unexpected. Just very, I guess, surprising and unexpected are the same thing. Very, very cool, though. I thought that was impressive that the AI was willing to try something a little crazy there. Can I not submit this? Oh, I missed one. How well did you understand how damage was calculated? Very much. That was not a surprising factor at all. You battled against hoplites. Did hoplites have a battle bonus? Yes, they did. You mentioned noticing your enemy battle bonus. What was it? They gain bonus when they move to attack. They gain a bonus when their target is weaker than them. They gain a bonus when an ally is next to their target. They gain a bonus when side by side. That's what it is. You battled with immortals. They gain a bonus when attacking from the high ground. Yes. Did you reinforce your units? Yes, I did. When did you reinforce your units? During the deployment, throughout the battle. I mean, I did it right at the beginning. They were there, but I did it right at the beginning. What happened to the units that did not fit in your deployment zone? They could not participate, obviously. How did reinforcement affect your battle? I used it to increase the morale of my units. I used it to flank my opponents. I blocked my opponent's reinforcements. My opponents blocked my reinforcements. I used it to include more units. That's basically what I did with it. I did flank with it. I don't know how you block your opponent's reinforcements, but I think we did at that one point. Well, no, I guess we didn't. Use it to include more units. I didn't know how to block the reinforcements. My opponents block my reinforcements. I do not know. Oh, you know what it is? I bet you that if you get to the hex that the enemy unit was on when you started the combat, that's where our reinforcements come from, right? I bet you can stand on that hex and it'll block reinforcements. I used it to flank my opponents. Yes, I did. Neither of these things happened, but I understand how they would now. Which of the following special rules had an impact on your battle? Immortals are stronger against cavalry. Hoplites are weak against melee. Horsemen can move after attacking. Hoplites are stronger against cavalry. That affected me in a big way. That affected me in a big, big way. Did you reinforce your units? Yes. What was your favorite part in this scenario? Being able to rush the backline with my... I guess that's 2 words. With my mounted units. And then use the distraction it caused to get the high ground. There are going to be so many high ground memes with this game. To get the high ground with my immortals. What was your least favorite part of this scenario? Spawning... Oh no, I want to go back. Spawning the enemies on the far bottom left hillside and not being able to breach the combined river plus high ground advantage. That was such a defensible position for them. Absolutely insane. Is there anything else you want to share with us? I very much felt the combat was good at making the difficulty a result of the combat situation more than expressly game mechanics. And that's important, because that's how real battles are. I mean, yeah, you have units that have some advantages, some disadvantages, but in reality, 9 times out of 10, it is the situation that the battle's occurring in that will decide how it goes. Let's go next. There we go. Alright folks, this has been the new Humankind OpenDev, and I will see you right here next week for the next OpenDev. Oh, wait a minute. I stand corrected, there's also a loot and pillage here. You know what? I will show that to you guys next time, which will probably be tomorrow or something. Don't worry. We'll get it on there. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to go ahead and give us a like or subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time. Bye!